Minister Dr Ben Spencer.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. So the Cyber Bill should be one of the most fundamentally important pieces of legislation the House will consider in this Parliament, because the UK's cyber resilience is a cornerstone of the foremost duty of government, the protection of the people. My honourable friend, the Shadow Secretary of State, has already made clear that His Majesty's official opposition appreciates the urgent need to act to protect our society, our economy and our security in the face of growing and evolving cybersecurity risks. But the Cyber Bill is the bill of missed opportunities. It would not have stopped the JLR or Marks and Spencer cyber attacks. It is silent on the threats from hostile state actors, and it does not answer the fundamental question: if NIS 1 was not enforced, what difference will further regulations make? Cybersecurity is key to our national security. It's too important an issue to play partisan politics. As a responsible opposition, we will work with the government to get the approach to this legislation correct. Now, many honourable members have made very insightful contributions to today's debate. The Right Honourable Member for Hertsmere, who has great experience and raised the issue about hostile state actors and gave some practical advice to the ministers, which I hope they reflect on. The member for Exmouth and Exeter East, who also talked about his professional experience and the need for proportionate regulations and modifying the Computer Misuse Act, which was raised by several other members. The member for Bromsgrove, who importantly pointed out the issue regarding physical technology and the risk of threats from cellular modules. The member for Bognor Regis and Littlehampton, who spoke also about her experience, particularly the importance of government to make sure we actually have impact from this bill. And I'd like to also mention the member for Ceredigion Preseli, who mentioned digital sovereignty, an important issue that I know we've discussed many times in this place, amongst many other colleagues across the House who took part in this debate. The member for Warwick and Lymington, the chair of the Select Committee for Newcastle and Tyne Central and West, a member for South East Cornwall, for Oxford East, Congleton, Northampton South, Portsmouth North, Milton Keynes Central and Mid Cheshire. Madam Deputy Speaker, the gravest and the most pernicious risks to UK cybersecurity go completely unaddressed by this bill. Cyber is the emerging battlefield of state security, with hostile state actors ramping up their efforts to disrupt our society, our economy and our democracy at pace. Time and time again in this Parliament, the government has balked at acknowledging the elephant, or in this case, the dragon, in the room of matters of national security. Last year, the Director of GCHQ, the UK's intelligence and also cybersecurity agency, confirmed that it devotes more resource to China than any other single mission. The evidence is clear. The Chinese Communist Party is one of the greatest national security threats our country faces. In November last year, Mr. Speaker took the exceptional step of circulating a briefing from MI5 warning of the widespread efforts of individuals and organisations working on behalf of the Chinese Ministry of State Security to target Parliament for intelligence gathering. In the intervening weeks, we have learned that the Home Office systems were accessed apparently by a Chinese state affiliate group. Reports have circulated that the attack is linked to the Chinese gang Storm 1849, previously connected with cyber attacks on MPs and the Electoral Commission. Further, in December 2025, the government confirmed that it sanctioned 2 Chinese companies for perpetrating what it described as indiscriminate cyber attacks on the UK public and private sector IT systems. These are not isolated incidents. They are evidence of a concerted and intensifying campaign on the part of the Chinese Communist Party and its affiliates to undermine vital public services and UK businesses. How our country and how our democratic allies and partners face the threat of hostile state actors working in concert is an epoch-defining challenge. It's a challenge we must meet, or we will live to regret it. It's no coincidence that several recent cyber incidents have targeted organs of government, with malicious actors rightly perceiving that many of our government departments are the weakest links in the cybersecurity ecosystem. The National Audit Office's 2025 report on government cyber resilience laid bare the inconsistent and, in some cases, glacial progress of government in making effective improvements in cyber resilience. Last month's attack on the Home Office IT systems is a stark reminder of the urgency of improving government cyber security. His Majesty's official opposition has received a clear message from cyber industry stakeholders that the government should be leading from the front and setting the standard for effective cyber resilience. Now, while I'm pleased that the government has managed at the last moment to push out the cyber action plan today, and it acknowledges the challenge, but how it will ensure change is delivered is unclear. Now, finally, Madam Deputy Speaker, attacks on household named retailers such as Jaguar Land Rover, Marks & Spencer and Co-op have raised public awareness of the risks we are facing, with consumer supply chains interrupted and jobs put in peril. But this bill would not have prevented those attacks had it been enforced at the time they took place. Given the constraints on public finances as a result of the Chancellor's reckless budget decisions, the government needs to ask itself, how many cyber attacks of the magnitude of JLR can we afford to bankroll? The government must undertake an urgent review to identify companies whose failure as a result of a cyber attack would present a risk to the UK economy of a comparable scale to JLR. Madam Deputy Speaker, failing to address all these urgent problems would leave an open goal for malicious cyber actors to undermine the UK's security and prosperity. This House is unlikely to revisit cyber security legislation for some time. The threat to our economy and national security from malicious cyber actors is amongst the most serious we face as a country. In the parliamentary debate following MI5's China espionage briefing, the Minister for Security pledged to strengthen the legislative tools available to disrupt this threat. So why not use this opportunity now, presented by this bill, to address it head-on? We stand ready to work with the government to stand up for and protect our country and prevent this bill becoming yet another missed opportunity. Yeah.